What's the matter? Okay, goodbye. Hey turtle nerds, welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I turned my room into a turtle hospital. Basically in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about what's going on with some of my animals and how I'm taking proper care of them, some things to keep in consideration when dealing with vets, and how sometimes you might actually know more than they do. Hello munchkins. Before we get started though guys, consider hitting the link right up in the top hand corner while I feed these guys and heading over to a video that explains how to win one of these little baby concentric diamondback terrapins. If you want to learn all about how you can enter and win a $50 or $100 gift card, hit the link right up over here, please. Anyway, let's get back to your regularly scheduled video. So today, folks, we tell the tale of Pancake. If you guys don't know who Pancake is my half ornate, half northern diamondback terrapin. He's a male, and I got him 4 years ago, freshman year of school, because I couldn't afford a pure ornate diamondback terrapin, so I got a mix of half and half. If you guys remember about 3 months back right here, Pancake died. He like literally was gone, and then I had to perform some voodoo magic to bring him back to life. He had prolapsed, which basically means that his insides in his tail, just his insides came out, which is bad. We don't want that. And the tissue had scarred and become a little bit necrotic, so that was also really bad. After a whole lot of TLC, he was able to slew off basically that necrotic tissue and keep everything back inside his tail, no problems. But I was always wary because once a turtle prolapses, it's very likely to happen again. Well guys, we went 3 months. 3 months without incident. And then all of a sudden, I see Pancake swimming around with this big ol' thing. And that is like infinitely worse than his previous prolapse. The original prolapse came because he drowned. He got stuck on an extra pump that I was using temporarily. Right, so that was the first time that he died and then prolapsed. And then I see him swimming around with this. Now that is a massive, massive prolapse. It looks fairly swollen, and luckily it was a Friday and I was able to get him over to my vet. They had to sedate him in order to push it back in because young Mr. Pancake was not cooperating and was pushing and using his feet and kicking at it and scraping it, and they're like, oh, you do not want to rupture that because he will die. And so they got it back in and stitched his vent, which is basically where his you-know-what comes out and where waste comes out, in order to keep it in. That way it can't come out. The opening won't open enough for it to get out, but it's open enough for waste to come out. I also had some anti-inflammatory medication that I was using for him. I was putting it on some shrimp, and oh, it's time for a water change. I was putting it on his shrimp and having him eat it that way. So right now I have him in an aquatic little setup. Normally I would have a heat lamp over this, but I'm using the heat lamp for a terrapin with a respiratory infection who needs it more than Pancake does. Also, my air conditioning was broken, so it was 80 degrees in my room at all times. So anyway, Mr. Pancake was sitting in here with his little stitched up tail, right? So he had prolapsed, then put it back, and he has a stitch on his tail. The vet said, come back Wednesday. At that point it was Friday. Come back Wednesday and the stitch should come off on its own, and if it hasn't, bring him back in and we'll take it off. Now here's the problem. Yesterday, 2 days ago, was Wednesday, right? So Wednesday rolls around, and when I put Pancake in water to soak, because I originally dry docked him for a little while, which was not the right move, should have kept him in shallow warm water. Anyway, when I would soak him and throw in some food, he ate, but then when he would go to poop, I could see everything coming through his tail. Like his tail would get really big as if he wanted to prolapse again. And then all of a sudden he would look like he was struggling, and then some poop would come out. But I was like, if I take this stitch off, he's just gonna prolapse immediately again, because I didn't know the cause. Turtles can prolapse for any number of reasons. And the fact that he had it in 3 months, once they do it once, they're very prone to do it again, like I mentioned. So anyway, I was worried that if we took the stitch off, he would, I mean, if he's eating and defecating okay, I figure that I don't want that stitch off because it can only cause him to prolapse again. So I waited nice and patiently, and later that afternoon, he would produce his little waste, and then he would try prolapsing again. I could see it all come through his tail, and I was still wondering, Pancake, why the heck did you prolapse? I couldn't think of any reason. Well, I thought of a couple reasons, but I just had no clue why he did that. And sure enough, after I put him back in his little enclosure after soaking, I found this. It was a rock. Basically, I didn't feed the turtles for 2 or 3 days because it was getting cool, and Pancake decided if I can't eat anything, I will eat a rock. When turtles eat a rock, terrapins are much more adapted to passing large, like actual solid material because they eat clams and mollusks and hard-shelled crustaceans in the wild. But because Pancake had prolapsed before, he was very vulnerable and prone to having it happen again. So when he ate this rock, he couldn't push it out, and he pushed and he pushed, and he pushed everything out of his tail. Now that that rock had fallen out, that he had passed it comfortably, well, uncomfortably, but he passed it, he was totally back to normal. I'm actually going to try to feed him right now, and then I have to change his water. And so long as he's eating and producing waste okay, hey buddy, you can see he's not happy with me. But we're going to toss in a little bit of pelletage, and basically what this means is I need to make sure that Pancake can't eat rocks or put himself in a situation like that again. Like theoretically, Pancake is totally fine. Once that rock came out, he has no reason to prolapse anymore. I gave him the last of his anti-inflammatory, that way he's okay. But I kind of went against the vet's orders, and clearly if you can figure out exactly what's wrong and you're sure of it, which I was, there's no way that it wasn't that rock, because now all of a sudden when he defecates, there's no like big bubbling flaring that's coming through his tail like he had before. So check it out. Tail is all closed up. There's no more raised bump. Interesting, so the stitch seems to have come off. All right, buddy, sorry. So I'm gonna keep him in this little habitat. I'm gonna have him eat and whatnot a little bit more, and I just wanna make sure that he's okay. But so far, he should eat in a little bit. He's been eating, producing waste, and basically like alive, living, chilling. So I'm just gonna keep a very close eye on Mr. Pancake here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring his entire setup outside. That way he can get some natural sunlight, and it's a bit warmer outside than it is in here now that I got my air conditioning fixed. This is just a cautionary tale of finding out why or what caused your turtle the ailment, and when and sort of how you can go against the vet's orders. I didn't bring him in, and he managed to pass that rock. I think that was the entire reason for the prolapse, and now I think he should be totally back to normal. And just in the future, I just don't want him eating rocks, so I'm not gonna put him in a situation where he can. So I'm not sure, sadly, if Pancake can return to the pond. I might put him back in just because the risk is kind of low, but it's not zero. We had 3 months with no issue, and $300 at the vet later. Pancake is all better. So anyway, folks, that's a little cautionary tale, a little crash course on prolapses, what to do with them, how to sort of fix them, and how to watch out for them happening again. I think gravel impaction is one of the #1 ways that it happens. Didn't think it would happen to my terrapin because they're made to handle large materials, but when Pancake is when he's already prolapsed before, he's more susceptible to it happening again, and that's just what happened. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.